Before we go in today's video, if you guys like this content and would like to see more, please subscribe, hit the bell notification, give a thumbs up, and share this video on all your social media platforms. There, fellas, welcome to another episode of Living for Today, where I am going to share with you two stories about stupidity on both sides of the law. First, in Hewitt, Texas, true story, a man was found dead in a desert with 6 bullet holes in his chest. And next to the body was a .22 caliber bolt-action long rifle. Police deemed this an apparent suicide. Now, for those of you who don't find this stupid, we're going to go back and explain something to you. A bolt-action long rifle is a special weapon. It has a tiny bolt on the side you have to lift up and pull back, and it accepts a single bullet into the chamber. You put the bullet in the chamber, you close it, lock it into place, turn the safety off, turn the gun around, and boom, there's shot number 1. Now, you have to understand, they say that this man did this 6 times, and you'd have to understand that with each bullet hole, it's going to be progressively harder to come to pick up that weapon, reload it, and shoot yourself again. But the great police in the state of Texas deemed this a suicide. To me, it's just stupidity. Now, on the other side of the law, this is a story about a guy named Nick. Nick's sister was being beaten up by a boyfriend, and one day, in the process of this happening, Nick happens to stop by and sees this happening and ends up beating the tar out of his sister's boyfriend. Nick, if you ever happen to be watching this video, I give you 2 thumbs up. Beats the tar out of this guy, knocks his teeth out, breaks his nose, tears this guy apart. Well, his sister ends up going to the hospital because she's beaten within an inch of her life. This guy ends up going to the hospital and going back to jail afterwards, of course, and Nick ends up going to jail on an assault charge. Well, in the process of this, Nick gets bailed out, and his lawyers are telling him they've pretty much got to drop down to a misdemeanor. It was his very first charge, so he's probably not looking at much time. But when his sister comes out of the coma, it happens to be on the day he's supposed to be in court, so he skips court to be with her. Well, he calls the bail bondsman and tells him that morning, I'm not going to be in court. My sister just came to. I'm going to be with her. The bondsman, understanding, calls the judge and actually tells the story and sets up a new court date for him. So they go to his house to deliver these papers. All he has to do is sign, and he gets his extension free and clear. Well, when they knock on the door, he assumed it was the police when he saw badges and jumps off the 3rd-story balcony of his building. Well, he takes off running, and of course the guys that were in the car see it, and they chase after him. Well, he's too far ahead, and they kind of give up until they hear a loud scream. He gets around the corner, and there's a light post. And there is a steel wire attached to the light post coming down at an angle that he happened to run into. Well, he fell backwards, split his head open, split his face open, and he's bleeding, laying there screaming in pain. Well, they picked him up, and after he came to for a second, they understood what he was going through. He explained he was just scared and took off because he thought he was being arrested that day. They let him sign the paperwork, still gave him the extension. When he showed up for court, he ended up getting 1 year of inactive probation. Nick, next time, just answer the door. Well, I hope you enjoyed these stories, and I hope to see you again next time.